25 Amazing Flower Facts. Wolffia is the smallest flowering plant in the world. The plants are aquatic and are found in freshwater lakes and marshes around the world. The plants have no roots and float around on the surface of the water. The flower itself is so tiny that it consists of one pistil and one stamen. The average size of the entire plant is about 1 millimeter. The plants float in pairs or clusters and are often collected and eaten as a vegetable in Asian countries. Skeleton flower. This flower is also often referred to as the chameleon of the woods. The flower primarily grows in the wild. It has an opaque white color and a yellowish center. Skeleton flower facts. When the flower comes into contact with water, it becomes translucent, exposing petals veins, making the flowers look like small ice sculptures. Upon drying, the petals revert back to their white color. The swaddled baby orchid is also known as the tulip orchid. However, its scientific name is Anguilla uniflora and was named after Francisco de Angulo, a famous collector. It is commonly found in Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. The center of the flower resembles a tiny baby swathed in a blanket, hence the name swaddled baby orchid. The petals of the orchid have a cinnamon scent. They are also cream in color and very waxy. Lithops flower is native to South Africa. It blends to the surrounding by having a stone-like color. Shape and size. The flower is also referred to as living stones or pebble plants. The plants produce a white or yellow daisy-like flower from in between the stone-like succulent stem. The flower is easy to grow and often established as a houseplant across the world. Chocolate cosmos produces a scent of dark chocolate with a hint of mint. The flower is quite rare and no longer grows in the wild. It is native to Mexico. The petals range in color from dark brown to near black. The gold of Kinabalu orchid is an endangered species of orchid that can only be found in one small fenced-off area in the Kinabalu National Park in Malaysia. This extremely rare flower costs up to $5,000, or £3,000 for just one stem at a time. The vine is also known as the turquoise jade vine or the emerald creeper. It is a leguminous perennial, native to the tropical forests of the Philippines. The jade vine has long stems that can grow up to 20 meters long. The flowers are claw-shaped and are carried as 75 or more pendants. The entire flower structure extends as long as 3 meters, making it a spectacle to look at. The turquoise color and the nectar produced by the flowers attracts bats, which are the primary pollinators. The flower's natural habitat has been destroyed and it is endangered. The pelican flower is native to Mexico, parts of Central America, Jamaica, and Trinidad. Pelican flower is a deciduous vine with one of the world's largest flowers that emits an odor that smells like rotting feet, attracting flies. The plant is high climbing and has leaves up to 10 inches long. The flowers are bilaterally symmetrical with a yellowish-green tube and a long hanging, whitish tail veined with purple. Some variations have flowers up to 2 feet in width. Flies are attracted to the highly odorous flowers and get trapped inside for a time, thereby pollinating the flowers. Bird of paradise flower, also called crane flower, ornamental plant of the family Strelitziaceae, native to South Africa. The plant is grown outdoors in warm climates and is a houseplant for its attractive foliage and unusual flowers. It is named for its resemblance to the showy forest birds known as birds of paradise. The bird of paradise flower grows from rhizomes to a height of 1 to 1.5 meters. It has stiff, erect, leathery, concave, and oblong leaves borne on a long petiole. The leaves are bluish-green in color and may have a red midrib. The orange and blue flower has 2 erect pointed petals and 5 stamens. Monkey face orchid grows in Ecuador and Peru forests at elevations of 1,000 to up to 2,000 meters. The flower center resembles the face of a monkey. At the ends of the flower are two long spurs that hung downwards. When fully blossomed, the flower also has a sweet ripe orange smell. The Hydnora africana is also known as the living dead flower. Instead of beautiful buds commonly found on flowers, the flower has snake-like scaly skin. The flower is parasitic and attaches itself to the roots of the host to derive nutrients from it. The flower emerges from the ground after heavy rainfall and attracts pollinators through its strong and unpleasant odor. The pollinators are trapped inside the flower for a few days alive to go and pollinate other flowers in the vicinity. The flower produces a fruit that grows underground and takes about 2 years to ripen. The fruit is eaten by porcupines, moles, and jackals. Humans use it for preserving and tanning fish nets. Kadupul flower is also known as the Queen of the Night. The flower is a cactus. It is also mythical as it is associated with the god of creation. It is also priceless as it only blooms at night and for only a few hours. Meaning that before morning it will have already withered, making it impossible to sell. The flowers are about 30 centimeters by 17 centimeters and very fragrant. It is native to Sri Lanka but has been naturalized in China. Australian underground orchid is native to Australia and did not spread to any other parts of the world. It is unique because it lives all its life underground and even blooms underground. The flower has no green parts and gets its nutrients from the roots of the broom bush. The flower head pushes through the surface to reveal tiny tightly packed dark maroon flowers. The flower head is about 2 to 3 cm in size. Bleeding heart is a spring-blooming herbaceous perennial plant that grows arching stems from rhizomatous roots and produces arching sprays of small heart-shaped flowers of pink and white. Formerly known as Dicentra spectabilis. This plant enjoys shady conditions and is a favorite of gardeners in shady borders and woodland situations. The bleeding hearts are poisonous and should be kept out of reach of children and pets. Broccoli is a flower, but most people know it as a vegetable. The broccoli head is made up of hundreds of tiny compacted flower buds. When they mature, they swell before opening up and revealing small yellow flowers. Broccoli is widely grown as a high-fiber vegetable and a good source of vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B6, and potassium. However, florists are yet to start using broccoli in flower arrangements. I mean, can you imagine a broccoli centerpiece? The sunflower is actually a cluster of hundreds of small flowers with single petals. Young sunflowers usually track the sun, but when they mature they usually face east. The flowers absorb up to 95% of radioactive materials from the soil and have been used to clean up nuclear disaster sites such as Chernobyl. Sunflower seeds are edible and are widely eaten by humans as well as used to produce oil, animal feed, cosmetics, and margarine. Hydrangeas were first discovered in Japan. Hydrangea are also known as hortensia as a genus of about 70 to 75 species of flowering plants. Hydrangea is a shrub belonging to the Saxifragaceae family. The most important species are characterized by inflorescences. These flowers are a native of the southern and eastern Asia, from Japan, Korea, China. The color of the hydrangeas is affected by the composition of the soil. When the soil is too alkaline, the pink color is dominant, and when the soil is acidic, the blue color is dominant. Moonflower. This is the flower unfurls at dusk and stays open throughout the night but closes up at the first contact with sunlight. The moonflower is also commonly known as the datura. The flower has different varieties, some with lemon fragrance and others with blackcurrant swirl. The plant is highly poisonous if ingested and should be planted out of reach of pets and children. Hooker lips flower. The flower grows from a tropical tree known as Psychotria elata that rarely exceeds 3 meters in height. The flower is also known as the hot lips plant. The red lips are actually bracts which form prior to the appearance of the flower blossoms. The unique shape and color of the temporary bracts are aimed at attracting hummingbirds to pollinate the flowers. Beehive ginger flower. All the parts of the flower have a strong ginger scent. The flower grows to about 4.5 meters and has horn-shaped leaves in a cylindrical beehive-shaped inflorescence. The plant originated in Thailand and Malaysia before spreading to the rest of the world. The leaves and rhizomes are edible and are used to flavor food. The flower is also medicinal and is used to produce traditional medicine used to treat inflammation, burns, back pains and headaches. Tulip flower. There are hundreds of varieties of tulips. Tulip bulbs were once used as food to fight against hunger during the World War II. They were also used as a form of currency and costed as much as the annual salary of an average man. The period was called the Tulip Mania. Holland is the largest producer and exporter of tulips. Corpse flower has a strong pungent smell like that of a rotting body or carcass. It is the largest unbranched inflorescence in the world and grows up to 3 meters high. The flower grows for about 7 to 10 years before blooming. The odor is released mostly at night to attract pollinators. Some people describe the smell as a mixture of sweaty socks, rotting fish, and human poop. The black bat flower is quite unique as the entire flower is black. The plant is in the yam family. The bat-shaped flowers grow up to 12 inches and have long whiskers which can be as long as 28 inches. The flowers are native to Thailand, southern China, and Malaysia. The flower is named after bat because its center resembles several bat faces. The Juliet rose is the most expensive of the rose varieties. It is also the rarest in the world today, making it widely sought by flower collectors. In 2006, a grower sold his 15-year-old bloom for a sum of $15.8 million. The flower was apricot-hued. The rose is named after the romantic story of Romeo and Juliet written by Shakespeare. The torch ginger is also known as the wild ginger, touch lily or the red ginger lily. The flower is common in Indonesia. The pink or red flower parts are used for decorative arrangements. The other flower parts such as the buds, seeds, the trunk are used to cook different dishes, especially sauces and fish.